Rob?
Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Rogues, and today we're taking a look at a really cool figure from DC Collectibles. It is the DC Collectibles Designer Series, the Great Capullo line. Obviously, this is, more importantly, Aquaman. I have really enjoyed the DC Collectibles Designer Series and the Capullo line, and also the J. Lee line, the figures that I have from that. But the Capullo line has been a really, really cool line to pick up, and I have every single Capullo figure right up until this series starts. This is the first, I can't remember what wave this is anymore. I've been thinking about picking up all of the Justice League members that are out there. I really wanted Aquaman. Glad to have him here. And I'm kind of sort of to start cherry picking through the line. I have no interest in getting the Commissioner Gordon Batman robot Bat Bunny suit. As you could tell, I'm kind of making fun of the name. I stopped reading Batman during that part of the storyline. I may go pick those issues up. It just wasn't something that I liked as a Bat fan. That's fine if you did, but that's not what we're here to talk about. I kind of had like prided myself on having picked up this whole entire series, but there were a couple figures here or there that I was like, do I really need it? And that's kind of where I'm getting with some of my action figure collecting, is really picking out the figures that I really want to have in my collection rather than trying to be a completist. So the Designer Series package is pretty much the same as it has been. With each of the Justice League characters, the banner color has changed here. Aquaman is obviously orange here. The Flash, I believe, is yellow. Superman is blue or red. I can't quite remember. Superman is probably blue, and Flash is probably red. Can't quite remember what Wonder Woman's is. Hers is probably blue, maybe. I can't quite remember. We see the comic art here on the side of the box that Capullo drew. He only actually drew Aquaman in one comic book in the Batman title, although he had done some other cover art for other things. But the figure is pretty much true to the comic art, with probably just a few little exceptions, and we'll get into that here. Obviously, Aquaman down on the side here. This is figure 17 from the line. The other figures in this set, Aquaman's the only one that I have. The Commissioner Gordon GCPD Batman, I'm almost 100% going to skip. Superman, I think I would really like to get to have a, Capullo Superman to go with the Capullo Batman. And Green Lantern, I'm kind of on the fence about. I might get Wonder Woman, but Superman is probably going to be the only other figure at this point that I'll probably pick up. We'll kind of see. If you've watched my reviews long enough, by the time I say probably, eventually I go, well, I decided to pick up the rest of the wave. But anyway, enough rambling here. Let's get this guy out of package, and we will get a closer look at the Great Capullo Designer Series Aquaman. All right, we've got Aquaman out of package, and I really, really like this figure. There's some things on here just in some of the coloring that I haven't seen really in the Capullo series, other than maybe Nightwing and just in some of the bright colors here. But his colors are nice, and especially the green. Normally there is a metallic sheen in the orange of Aquaman's suit. You could definitely tell that there. But in the other two Aquaman that I have, which is essentially the same figure, this one is a little bit more muted in its orange, goldish type color for his top half of the suit. And I think it works just a little bit better. You'll see in the other two figures, once I bring them up, that this is more of a gold and the others are more orange. I think maybe I would have, now that I'm kind of looking at the other two figures off to the side here, maybe I would have wanted a little bit more orange in the Aquaman costume here, but I don't think it takes anything away from the character at all. And you could tell that this is how Capullo drew his Aquaman. And when we get to look at the other two, they're more Jim Lee inspired. So there's a little bit more detail in the suit. This is more comic book, and these are more, you'll understand in a minute. The other thing I really like here out of the two other Aquaman that I have is the Trident. I think this is probably the best version of the Trident I've seen. The Heroes versus Villain Trident, I really do like. Sadly, the Justice League 7-pack Jim Lee version Trident is really kind of boring and plain. I mean, it works okay, but it's not my favorite. But the face sculpt is really, really nice. Let's get this up just a little bit. Up, Robbie. There we go. Now he has a little bit more of a pouty mouth. Let's get that hand down here. Which is kind of how the Capullo series has been done a little bit. And just the shading of the mouth. And you'll see when I bring Batman up here a little bit, he's kind of the same a little bit. And Capullo's designs, everybody's a little bit more bulkier and beefier. But I really do like the figure. And I've always been an Aquaman fan. And it's not because the Justice League movie is coming out or BVS where it's like, oh, Rob all of a sudden likes Aquaman. I always have. I don't have a whole lot of Aquaman comics in my collection. I do have a handful. I've got the whole Jeff Johns run of Aquaman and plus some 90s comics. But Aquaman was always one of those, even on the Super Friends, I liked the character. That he's in the water, and it's like the Justice League only really patrols, a quarter of the Earth, and the other 3/4 this guy is covering. So there's a lot more water on Earth than there is land here. But a really, really cool figure. I like the paint details. I probably got my fractions wrong, so I apologize. Rob, it's actually 2/3. Fine. Whatever. I love the fins. I never said math was my strong suit on this channel. It's just, I really, really like this figure. And as I'm looking at it, I'm like, maybe I had to get the other ones. Probably not Gordon Robot Bunny Batman. Not going to happen. It'd be nice to have the other members of the Justice League. Very, very cool. The Trident, like I said, is very nice. Sculpted. Nothing really on the handle. The other two Aquaman do have, the Jim Lee Justice League 7-pack has like 3 extra lines right here, and the Heroes versus Villains 7-pack does have this other little spot at the end. This is pretty much just a straight piece that you see here. No open hand, it's just a hole that the Trident slides down through, and it stays in there really pretty nice. On the other hand, which traditionally most of Aquaman figures in the past have had, this is like a swimming hand. The Flash usually has this type of hand to kind of denote running. But that's really kind of cool to... I miss those in my Superpowers figures. Aquaman always had 2 hands that were like this, as if he were, swimming. So you could kind of have him, in mid-stroke, backstroke. Or, being his Atlantean swimmer. So very cool. And the sculpting work is done really nice, and I like the belt here. Very cool. Very similar to the other 2 Aquaman figures, but it's not anything that you go, oh, they just totally reused the same body parts and just gave a new head sculpt. That's not the case on this figure. The articulation on the Capullo figures has always been really pretty good. So let's back this out a little bit more. So the head does look left to right. It's on a nice ball joint. You don't get a whole lot range of motion out of it. It does have, he can look up and down a little bit, but it's not too drastic. You can do a little head tilt side to side. Arms are a nice ball peg. I miss this scale for DC. As much as the icons keep changing their their scale, I miss this scale. I wish DC would just go back to this, maybe use their icons articulation, and I think this line does not have the clear plastic pegs anymore. They're more into the DC UC type of a joint here, but you can kind of see. So this makes me happy The clear plastic pegs are gone out of these guys. This is where DC needs to kind of stay with their articulation. So I'm not worried about things breaking out of this particular wave of the Justice League figures. So nice ball and socket here. Turns at the elbow. Single hinge. Bicep, excuse me. Swivel at the bicep. Get your motions right, Rob. Hinge at the elbow, single. No wrist rotation. There is a glove slight. It does move a little bit. I guess it was a little stiff just coming out of package. So that's cool. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't think we were going to get any type of rotation at all. The ab crunch works very nicely. Very good ab crunch. Waist swivel. Like I showed you, the nice T-jointed legs. New for DC Collectibles, at least from this series. Upper thigh. Double hinge knee, which is always a plus. A nice ankle hinge and no rocker, just straight forward and back. But a really, really nice figure. Actually, now probably one of my favorites out of the Capullo series. They just did a really, really good job with this figure. So let's bring up the two other Aquaman that I have, and essentially they're the exact same, but you can get a closer look at the three that I have. All right, here are the three Aquamen that I have, two of which are essentially the same, like I said. We've got the Justice League 7-pack that started the whole new 52, essentially the Jim Lee design of the figure, and then they went and did the Heroes versus Villains 7-pack, because shortly after the Justice League Origins, or War if you have the DVD, or digital movie, the adaptation, if I can't even think today, they changed Aquaman's look slightly. They got rid of the chain, and they went with Ivan Rice's design for his face, and got rid of the sideburns and the wavy hair, and kind of made him more traditional Aquaman looking. But you can see, hopefully the review lights aren't washing him out too much, that the oranges are a lot more metallic and brighter than the gold here. And now kind of seeing them side by side, I think I do like the brighter orange metallic color than the gold here. But for the Capullo series, this works still really well. I think he is still my favorite of the three here. Now granted, they're different types of figures. These are more, realistic, traditional looking figures, as opposed to being made to look exactly like their comic book counterpart here, which I guess you could say the other two are, essentially. But I think you know what I'm trying to say. But all three are really nice figures. I don't think you can go wrong with any one. And it's nice that we're getting some Justice League members in with the Capullo series. So if you're not wanting to get any of the other new 52 figures, and you're just kind of like splicing together your Bat family team, and you want to have some Justice League members, the Capullo series will work very well, obviously, in with your Capullo Bat figures, because you're going to get, Justice League figures. I can't even talk today. So let's look at the big Bat himself and see how he looks next to the Capullo Aquaman. And it's no surprise these two figures look great next to each other, Batman and Aquaman, and I just can't believe we're going to get a movie with Batman and Aquaman both sharing the same screen together. It was one thing to see Superman and Batman, which you would figure somewhere down the line we're going to get a Batman and a Superman working together in some film. But to think that we're going to get Aquaman and Batman, not in my wildest dreams did I ever think that was going to happen. I always hoped for it, but I really think an undersung and underused and underappreciated hero that Aquaman is. I think after this winter season, or going into winter season in November, as you're sitting around the Thanksgiving Day table, people are going to be talking about the Aquaman character probably a lot better than they had in the past. Let's bring up one more figure from the Capullo series. Dressed like a bat. I can dig it. Maybe temporary. Commissioner Gordon. So just doing a little bit of that scene here from the trailer that we saw. it's going to be really cool to put Aquaman with the rest of the Bat family. And I think hopefully maybe getting Superman, it won't look as one-sided. But Aquaman, if I was picking my Justice League team, Aquaman would definitely be on it. And out of all the Justice League members, he's in the top 3 or 4 for me as favorite Justice League members go. Arthur Curry. Hey, here you can talk to fish. Final thoughts here on the Capullo series Aquaman figure. I love this figure. Sculpted great. Like I said, I think he probably has the best hair out of all of them so far. I really dig the face sculpt on here. The figure overall is really, really nice. Aquaman is taller than Batman, and I'm fine with that. I think Batman is 6'1", 6'2", whatever. I think I would tend to think Aquaman might be just a little bit taller than Batman. So I think it works fine here for that. I think they both look great together. And I think if you're looking for another figure to add to your Capullo series, or even just to have a really cool Aquaman, like, okay, now that this Aquaman is out, which of the 3 should I track down? This one I think is the way to go. A, because he's single-carded. The Heroes versus Villains, the only way you're going to get him is if somebody bought the 7-pack and sold him loose. The Justice League New 52 Aquaman was a single-carded figure and in the 7-pack as well. And now the New 52 has been out, I think most people that are collecting DC collectibles figures beyond like the Trinity, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman probably have Aquaman if you're building your Justice League. But this is a good figure to get, especially if you have the Capullo series. I think it works very, very well in with the Capullo Batverse, and just having Aquaman to be able to stand with the rest of the Bat family that I have is going to be really, really cool to see. So today we've been taking a look at a figure 17 from the Capullo Designer Series. It is Aquaman from the pages of the Batman comic series that he and Scott Snyder were doing. And as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues, signing off saying we will see you guys next time.